All right. Welcome, everyone. I just got all emotional, not just because Patricia dropped into the room, but maybe partly because of that. Um, Welcome. It is May 30th, 2025. We're at, this is Cindy. This is an open door. This is the hour that we've set aside for direct experience. Um, and currently we're using Helen Hamilton's pointings, both reality check, the book Reality Check, but also we have gotten into the habit. Wow, there's a lot of energy flowing. I don't know if anybody else could feel it, but the room is spinning a little bit. Um, we we've gotten into the habit of beginning with a clip. Um, the team behind Helen has been wonderful of posting clips. This is an older one, and the title, it's I think 9 minutes long, and the title is "Can You Fix the Problems of an Imaginary Person?" I love the title. I haven't listened to it yet. So unless anyone has anything they'd like to say, shall we watch it? Let's watch it. Can you really fix the problems of an imaginary person?
Michael, when you're ready.
Helen,
Hi,
thank you for saying today.
thank you.
So I feel pushed to put my hand up because I'm teachings today were spot on too, and we started in the graduate program the challenge that we're doing on lack, and I really didn't think it was something that is really relevant to me. It manifested quite a bit of abundance in my life, but I'm seeing that I've spent my life trying to compensate for the lack in my life and used it as a tool to get the things that I think I need
Mhm.
to be happy, be fulfilled, whether that be money, partner, home, even our community. And there's this real sadness there. I'm just exhausted from the doership and doing. And I moved to Florida, thinking this would bring me happiness and joy, like all the stuff I've done, escaping the sense of lack. Just wanted to share kind of where I'm at. I was going to bring it up later on the call, but when they put their hand up and felt, but I see that there's nowhere to go. There's nowhere to get this thing. It's not from you. It's not from satsang. It's not from making more money. It's not from more love from somebody.
Where is it going to
It's
come
just
from then? Where is it going to come from?
obvious it's from inside, but it just feels like it's not there. I know I journaled this morning and, begged to Jesus, the God, just up against this inherent sense of lack of everything, even though it's not there in the physical realm. It's just this inherent lack of something that's been driving me my whole life.
Has it been
And I think
driving you your whole life? Or has
it's
it been
been,
driving the idea you've had about who you are? Because there's a huge difference.
it's been driving the separate sense of me my whole life, but this is exhausted now and completely.
So stop trying to fix something that isn't your problem. Can you, the great self that is everything and everywhere, Do you need to fix this?
It feels like if I don't, it's going to leave me in a deep, dark place.
Aren't you in a deep, dark place right now, though?
Yeah,
Has tried
I'm
to
trying
fix
to,
it really worked or helped with that?
no,
Can you fix the problems of an imaginary being?
I guess I've had tastes of it, like thinking that that's it, but then it comes back again.
So when it arises next time, or even if it's here right now, can you try a different option? And we're not talking about bypassing here. We're not denying anything. We've just come to clearly see this is something that is a problem of this old idea of me and not the real me. So what if you just say, thank you, but no thank you? It's Thanksgiving, so I'm grateful for you showing me that this is not my problem, actually. I'm just going to expend no energy at all trying to fix this, and I'll see what happens.
So I just allow, like, okay, I'm not going to, try and get some high out of whatever it is to try and escape this feeling. It's just like, oh, this isn't my problem to fix, and just allow it.
Allow the feelings in their fullness, knowing that you can't and don't need to do anything about that, and see what happens. You can do it right now.
So like I kind of surrender to I can't fix this. Like
And
this is
more importantly, I don't need to. This is an imaginary lack coming from an imaginary being, imaginary lack of self-worth or love or something. And it's rooted in this idea of who we think we are that isn't at all who we actually are. Is it really going to work to keep trying to fix it or compensate for this lack?
it's
What
evidence,
happens?
but it doesn't just it's hard to believe it's imaginary.
Well, not so much, because you spent a long number of years trying to fix it and never succeeded. If it was real, you'd have found a way to fix it by now.
Yeah.
What if the only thing that's needed is to hit the unsubscribe button? I don't actually need to fix this. I have tried every which way, but every time I try, it's just reinforcing that this is my problem, me, the separate being. And if you can see that the real self, if you've had a taste of that, or even intellectually you can see that isn't affected by any lack at all. And anything I do to try to improve my sense of self-esteem seems to be lacking, or self-worth, or love, or whatever. Self-acceptance is just going to make it feel worse, because it's going to be emphasizing I'm coming from this illusionary self. And we go round and round and round for who knows how many years. In the end, I had to look at this and I can't fix this. I don't need to, actually. What happens when I just let this come and go like every other phenomenon? Mind doesn't like this because it says, well, you're never going to get to feel the way you want to feel if you just let it come and go. But nothing else has worked. We might as well try this, because actually it's the only thing that works. Self doesn't have to try to change anything. And it can't. It just is. This old idea arises, I'm lacking in, and you let it arise. And then if you've seen it's not true, just let it arise. Without wanting to diminish, the experience, so to speak. It is just a feeling. and it will come and go, like everything else. And it will come and go remarkably quickly if you don't play with it. It's your interest in trying to fix it that keeps it coming back, some kind of investment of energy we have in it.
Definitely a fear of it, and that's why I want to fix it,
But to fix it, you'd have to be a doer, and you're not. You're a beer, not a doer.
Tired of the doing.
Tired of imagining you're doing. You've never done anything. Or admit you've done the entire universe, one or the other. Don't just pick one body and mind and say, that's what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Don't limit yourself that way.
Oh, thank you.
See what happens when you don't scratch the itch, you just let it arise. Like, come on then, have at it, and see if it actually happens. When I did this, it just vanished into a puff of smoke, like it was never there.
Thank you.
Thank you. Good to talk to you.
Right. So do any non-doers here or imaginary doers have anything they'd like to say about what we just experienced? Oh, Alka and then Izzy is the direction I saw the hands raise.
Who's going first?
Alka.
Okay. So I just wanted to say that it only works for me 50% of the time. It's good to know, and I work at it, but to always be aware that I am not the doer is, for me, it's not possible. It's possible 50% of the time, but not always. I forget. I don't know. That's all I have to say.
May I respond to that? Is
Yes,
it okay
please.
if I respond?
Yes.
It was so interesting because someone came to me for help yesterday, and we had a amazing conversation, and felt really good. And within an hour after the conversation, I got a text saying, I felt it while we were talking. Then right away, I went right back into this frozen state or whatever. The truth of the matter is, though, and the way I responded and she got it was, if she was that frozen state, she would never have known it. And it's a quote that in my head is Muji's, a scale can't weigh itself. Which means that if we're seeing that this experience is occurring within us, then even though it doesn't feel like it, there's been great value here in recognizing, since I am seeing this pain, or I am seeing this trouble, or I'm seeing this unconsciousness arising, I must admit that I am larger than it. I'm not saying that's not arising within me, but there's an area outside of it that is not stuck, that is not unconscious, that is not the doer, if that makes sense. And I've been practicing that for X number of months or the last year or so, and it's working. Like I'm feeling less like the doer. Does that, yeah, that dropped? Okay. Hey, Izzy.
Great point there, Cindy. I love that. I'm glad this video came on because it gives me a chance to say thank you to Josephine. Josephine, I think it was that video of Helen's from self-hatred to self-love. And that, yeah, Libby, I think you saw that. And for some reason, that video made it possible for me to more greatly see my thoughts from a distance. And in that video, thoughts from from who knows where they just kind of get plucked out, which is has said, and huge, huge difference in my thinking about, and, and like, and then that sentence, to Huang. And also, Elka, I wanted to say I recently saw a clip from Adia, and he said, the question was, how long does it take? Said you could, by repeating, or
Izzy, I think can you turn your video off? You have
is
some
it?
bandwidth issues and we're not catching every word and I want to hear every
Uh,
word.
okay, is that better so far?
Let's
Is that
try it
better?
now. I think so. Yeah.
Oh shoot! So I wonder how much I have to repeat.
No, we just didn't hear the name of Adia's video, I think, if you start there.
Right. And he was saying, people were saying, well, how long does it take to really understand that there's no self in here? And he said it could take one time saying it, or it could take 500,000 times. And I'm on time myself, apparently. So if that makes you feel any better, Elka. But for me, it was helpful to get to the root cause these thoughts come into my head, and the root cause is they just happen. They just happen. And the sensations that go along with the thoughts. And was kind of a little, and that was only 9 o'clock in the morning. And I was able to immediately think, wow, this is just a thought and this is only a sensation. And, I went from, well, maybe I should go back to bed or do something, but, the main point I'm trying to make is that if it might be helpful for other people too, to know that somewhere where that don't include us whatsoever. So anyway, there's my contribution. Thanks.
Thank you. And now we want you to turn your video back on so we can see you.
Uh,
Oh no, Pat, you don't get to do that.
Do what? Oh,
Put your hand down before you
Oh.
share.
no, I wasn't. I was just getting ready to share.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So I have, and be on time here and unmute and all that stuff. I just loved this. I was like laughing internally the whole time, and it totally put me in mind of Dove, who always says, "Don't take anything seriously." So this guy was taking himself so seriously. I got this problem. I got to fix it. He just thought that was so real, and she kept saying, "No, it's not." And it's like, and it goes back to the original thing in the course. There's this tiny mad idea that we forgot to laugh at. This is, it's just so wonderful. I'm so grateful for this particular video today, because it just is it's a key to an unlimited freedom, really. I took notes. I almost transcribed it, but it said, "Here's the thing: if it was real, you'd have found a way to fix it by now. You've been at it for decades. What else kind of things did you need to fix that you didn't fix after decades of trying? It's only this belief that it's some kind of real problem of a real person, and that's the joke." This is great. Thanks.
Thank you. Gonna go from Pat to Patricia.
Good morning, one and all. Wonderful to be here. Per usual. Thank goodness. I miss you all on Saturday and Sundays, by the way, and Mondays. And then look forward and feel so wonderful when I come back on Tuesdays. But anyway, this has nothing to do with what I want to say. I learned something, pardon me, in something called neuro-linguistic programming. Some of you may have heard of it, NLP. And Alka, sometimes and it really helps me. I see the movie of Patricia and all the to-do list. Like I've got to chop the onions, I got to et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. I put it on a movie screen and I'm in the movie theater and I'm right up there in the front row. And then I move back to the middle of the middle rows, and I look at the movie screen again, and there's a little more distance. And then I go up to the balcony. It looks so small, and it's like it no longer matters. It goes away. So I just wanted to share that with you, if that helps, and share it with all of you, if it helps in any way. Thank you.
Michelle.
Good morning. Good morning to all. I loved when she said, when that thought or those thoughts arise, don't play with it. I thought that was great because a lot of times I hear, don't resist. And then I resist anyway, I think for me anyway, I like that don't play with it a little better. That feels a little more practical. Just thought I'd share that. Thank you.
Yeah. All right. So the question I have is, does anyone have anything else they'd like to say, or are we going to screen share? And Alka has agreed to read for us. Hopefully someone knows where we're going to start. I know what page comes up, so let's see where we are. Oops, hold on a second.
Is it page 27?
Well, this is the pages, and again, everybody knows that anyone can interrupt at any time. 27 on the Kindle is what I have. Yeah.
Do you remember where we stopped?
The highlight is correct. Form
So
is
start with form
yes,
is the
form and the
formlessness.
formlessness.
So it's the top of page 35 in the book.
Well, I have the Kindle here, so
It's
so
the last part of chapter 6.
okay, which is form is the
Form.
formless. Is that the one?
Yeah, form is the formlessness appearing to be a shape.
Okay, great. Oops. So here we go. Form is the formlessness appearing to be shape. Formlessness is the essence of all forms. Step 4 then becomes, I have no idea what I am, what God is, what reality is. I am beyond any definition. I have no ability to determine, discriminate, or label, and I am totally happy. It really is as simple as not thinking about yourself at all, or knowing that no thought is going to be true about you. Even the thought, I am the all, or I am nothing, is not true here. You do not need to eliminate thoughts or stop the mind working. It is enough to see no thought about you or anything at all has ever been true. I am all is not true because the concept of all includes numerous forms and categories. There are no objects, manifestations. Manifestation has never truly occurred as something independent to the self. I am nothing is also not true because it excludes all forms and objects. Even to feel that both of these are true or neither of them are is still delusion and self-defining.
All right, shall we talk or shall we read this or?
I think it describes the video very well here. It sort of leads on from the video, doesn't it?
For me, it's like some energy somewhere put that video in our purview to show us how it works and then went and read from the book. It feels the same to me.
Yeah.
Shall we keep going or is there words from anyone else? We go.
Okay. One final note. If you read this book and have a sense that what you have understood from it is real and what you knew before you read it is unreal, then you have not totally understood what the noumenon is. The self is totally inclusive of all levels of consciousness and all understanding. If I strongly believe myself to be a limited person, separate and alone, moving through this lifetime and trying to find happiness before I die, then I will experience that as absolutely real. It will be so real to me that all my experiences will verify it as true. It will not even occur to me to question if there could be more to see. Unless I start to have a very negative experience of being a separate being. Even at that point, I may still be so convinced that what I know is true that I may turn away from an authentic spiritual teacher or teaching, calling them crazy or just plain wrong. If I come to realize that I am the unmanifest self and I am beyond all form, that will also seem totally real to me, too. If I realize I'm both the form and formless, then that will seem completely and absolutely real to me. How can all these levels of reality be true for me? How is the next person's belief in having been born and living their life as real as what I have seen? It is simply that I am reality. What that is, I do not know. And anything I am experiencing anywhere from any point of view must be reality experiencing itself. Any experience I have in any human body or any animal, plant, or insentient item is totally and absolutely real because I am reality. Whatever I believe to be true is immediately true for me. Whatever I know and am certain is real will be experienced as real to me. As the one reality, I am all pervading and therefore all of my viewpoints are equally valid. If I exclude any one of them at all, I am defining and I am limiting myself again. It is natural to want to live as the absolute reality because that is the only place we will not suffer or feel limited in any way at all. But we must not exclude anything at all in that realization. I think that's the end.
Hey. I confess that my thinking mind pulled me out of the sitting with the reading of that page. And I wonder if another voice would consider reading it again. Oh, thank you, Livy. Let's share and read it again. And if the same thing happened to you, I realized that I was catching bits that something here was resisting listening. And so I want to give it another shot. So here we go.
Am I reading the whole chapter again?
Well, it's just one page.
Yeah.
Yeah. One
Okay.
final note.
All right. One final note. If you read this book and have a sense that what you have understood from it is real and what you knew before you read it is unreal, then you have not totally understood what the noumenon is. The self is totally inclusive of all levels of consciousness and all understanding. If I strongly believe myself to be a limited person, separate and alone, moving through this lifetime and trying to find happiness before I die, then I will experience that as absolutely real. It will be so real to me that all my experience will verify it as true. It will not even occur to me to question if there could be more to see, unless I start to have a very negative experience of being a separate being. Even at that point, I may still be so convinced that what I know is true that I may turn away from an authentic spiritual teacher or teaching, calling them crazy or just plain wrong. If I come to realize that I am the unmanifest self, and I am beyond all form, that will also seem totally real to me too. If I realize I am both the form and formless, then that will seem completely and absolutely real to me. How can all these levels of reality be true for me? How is the next person's belief in having been born and living their life as real as what I have seen? It is simply that I am reality. What that is, I do not know. And anything I'm experiencing anywhere from any point of view must be reality experiencing itself. Any experience I have in any human body or any animal, plant, or insentient item is totally and absolutely real because I am reality. Whatever I believe to be true is immediately true for me. Whatever I know and am certain is real will be experienced as real to me. As the one reality, I'm all pervading and therefore all of my viewpoints are equally valid. If I exclude any of them at all, I'm defining and I'm limiting myself again. It is natural to want to live as the absolute reality because that is the only place we will not suffer or feel limited in any way at all. But we must not exclude anything at all in that realization.
Thank you. Rhonda.
Very juicy. So this is what I feel is the understanding or the clarity right now. Whatever the current realization is, that's real. No matter what level of understanding consciousness is expressing, right? Whether it's like I'm a body or I'm the form and the formless or I'm the absolute reality, as we move on, it's all real. And I want Sandra to be here so bad, right? Because I feel like that's what she's been pointing to for months now is this including everything and not saying that's not real. This is real. Like that's duality right there when I'm like saying this is not real. But reality continually experience itself with the capacity to do it at all these different levels, and I probably felt absolute reality many times in this journey, but I didn't know what that was until I was here. So I wouldn't venture to say, I think it would be untrue if I said, I've never experienced all those things. I'm pretty sure consciousness has through this expression. This one just doesn't know how to recognize that. And so today I'm including everything, whatever the snapshot is and the interaction. I will understand it's real and really an opportunity to see love and beauty rather than conflict and suffering. Thank you.
That, I didn't know if your message meant you had to leave, and is there anything you'd like to share?
Oh, no, that's why I did leave and, blanked out my picture. I just got a couch. Yay.
Yay! All right. I just wanted to give you space in case you had to pull out.
Thanks.
Barbie.
Yeah. Good morning, everybody. When the video came on, I was feeling great. The video came on, and after it was done, I got an instant headache all over here. I wasn't resisting, but I don't know what it was. Maybe because the guy was trying to fix himself for decades and he couldn't fix himself. And maybe that upset me because he was trying too much. I have no idea. So then when Alka was reading, and finally in the last chapter, I don't even remember the words that were said, but in the last chapter, like my headache was diminishing. But then when Lizzie read, it's like it's gone. And I have no idea what the words were or what was said, but I know I have no headache now. So something happened. I'm blessed.
It warms my heart to hear all of that, Barbie. Thank you. Thank you for sharing it. All right, Izzy.
You're welcome.
Yeah, I'll leave my video off. I experienced the same thing, Cindy, when my mind was wandering and I was thinking about that thing, and since I was thinking about it, it was apparently wandering through the second reading as well. But this thing called resistance, I think we hold it as being a negative. And I don't think it's a negative. I think it's like every other thing that we experience. It is God, it is love. And maybe this we feel is really creating the atmosphere for when we can accept everything. Maybe it's just making it acceptance. That's what I'm saying. It's making it a more gentle acceptance when we time. And I'd be interested in any feedback on that. It's a question I have.
You know what came up, Izzy, while you were sharing? I've been doing this Kabbalah class with my sisters, and I'm not a Kabbalist, but he says some things that they ring true. And he was asked, or he answered the question, what are the top reasons why people leave the spiritual path, leave the study? And he said the number one reason why people leave is that enough miracles have happened that their life has gotten comfortable. And their main purpose on being on the spiritual path was to have a better Cindy experience or a better life experience. And the spiritual path worked to the point where they became comfortable in their life as being human, and then they just drifted away from the spiritual path. And that was what came up as I was listening to your sharing your question.
I'm not quite getting the connection.
Yeah, it's just, to me, when resistance in my life is always feels painful, and it in many ways motivates me to continue learning more and going deeper.
Oh,
So,
so then there is a positive thing there.
oh yeah, oh yeah.
Yeah, it feels painful, and that's a contrast we need to spur us into further study or whatever, further
Well,
contemplation. Yeah,
yeah. It
yeah,
that's just what came up as I was listening to you.
I see. Thanks.
Thank you. Hey, Patricia.
Good morning again. I was just thinking of what comes forefront for me was what Christian was talking about. It's yesterday was just live life fully, and when you know you're coming from a place of unity, go out in the world and just live as a human being fully. And I think that that has given me permission to just be. Rather than I'm not doing it right, I'm not doing it good enough, with all of those kind of negative thoughts that can come in. It just is. And just to embrace what is. Then let it go. Then I go into the world of I don't know. And that seems to help me. And I think that's a little bit of what she's talking about. You know, both are true. I don't know, what do others think about that?
At the moment, I can honestly say I don't think I'm thinking. I don't think I'm thinking, which is a funny statement, but there isn't a lot I'm feeling. There's emotion arising. There's a sense of stillness. But the intellectual mind at the moment isn't really on. I'm inspired though to ask Amy to talk a little bit about whether or not you know what next week's gonna look like.
Sandra and I was hoping she'd be on this call and we could arrange a time. We're going to get together to talk about how we're going to do the book, but we'll definitely start. My sense is we'll start probably just start reading. We'll start with an introduction and start reading. But I don't really have much to tell you right now.
All right.
I'm
So
sorry.
we're gonna beginning next week, we're going to be shifting from Helen Hamilton to the book entitled Resurrection. Pete Paul Selleck and the guides. And for me, the intention remains to have a direct experience within the hour. We're just using a different voice. And Amy and Sandra are going to be facilitating the experience. And
May
it'll
I
be-
may I ask how 10 o'clock works for everybody? Does it work? Is 10 o'clock on Friday set for you, Cindy?
well, it works for me.
Okay,
It's in my calendar and I have it.
it works for everybody? Okay. Want to make
I
sure
have
that,
some commitments coming up for Izzy. Did you want to say something?
can't hear you.
You're muted, Izzy. So
The 10 o'clock time is a tad early for me. That's, I'm in my bathrobe still,
Yeah. I was
Yeah.
going to see if we could do it at 10:30, but only if it works for everybody.
I would love that personally.
Works. Is there anyone that 10:30 does not work for? Raise your hand. Alka. Okay. So 10 o'clock, we're okay, because it's too late for you, right? I get that.
It's cutting it very fine because I have to do other things at 5:30, so it doesn't give me any time whatsoever then to do anything in this. For me, it starts at 4 p.m. and it finishes at 5 p.m. Sorry, the 10 p.m. But if you do another half an hour, then it's 5:30 here, and it's just really, I'd have to leave like 15 minutes in advance to do other stuff.
We need
Okay.
Alka.
Sorry,
I'm
Roma, I
gonna-
didn't get
Yeah,
I
let
said
me
we
turn the
need
recording
Alka.
off. Hold on a second. I'm gonna
We
say,
need
I love
everyone.
us reality check. We'll continue this conversation, but it feels like we're done relative to what we need for the recording. So let me shut the recording off. Love us.